Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Draven Who Games, where today you're like, Draven, why are you all dressed up today? And why is your Switch dressed up as well? And to that I have to say, it's the Switch's first birthday, and what a year it has been for the Switch. This bad boy's grown up fast, and, well, I think it's time to give out the awards for its first year. Just a disclaimer real quick before we get into the awards, is that there will be no Super Mario Odyssey or Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I think you guys know why. We all know they're great games, and I just feel like some other games deserve the spotlight. And while some of these are bigger games, I want to give some other ones some chances in here instead of those two, because they can rock pretty much any category. But yeah, so the categories for today's video are Best Port, Best Graphics, which means, looks the best graphically, Best Story, Best Thing That Shouldn't Work, Best Under $5, Best Fighting Game, Best Racer, Best Arcade Archive, Best Platformer, Best 3D Platformer, Best Lego Game, Best Crazy Co-op Game, and Best Game Nobody Bought. So, yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into these categories. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and get, like I said, right into the categories. So, the first category on our list is Best Port. So, to qualify for this, it has to be a port of a game that was on other systems to the Nintendo Switch, and it had to be really good, as the name implies. To this, I put, as best port, I have put Doom on the Nintendo Switch. Honestly, I've talked about this in my Best Games of 2017 video. I absolutely love Doom on the Nintendo Switch. Being able to take it anywhere I go is really good. Also, another thing is that it looks pretty good for the Switch. Is it the most impressive visually? No, but, it is noticeable that it is lower graphics, but, that doesn't really matter as long as the game runs really well, and it does, and it's a whole lot of fun. Really good online multiplayer as well. Pretty fun, considering we have no Call of Duty or Halo or anything. Well, we're never going to get Halo, I don't know why I said that. We don't really have anything like that on the Switch yet, unless you count, like, Splatoon, so, it's pretty nice to have, actually, and, is a lot of fun. So, if you have not picked up Doom, I would highly recommend it, and that is why it is my best port of the Nintendo Switch. So, yeah, congratulations. Next is, well, kind of going with what I said earlier, Best Graphics. So this is the most graphically impressive game. Not necessarily style, but it just looks like really well done. It looks, like it'd be on a newer console. Something that would be more powerful than the Switch, and that is Resident Evil Revelations 2. So yeah, what I have to say about this is that it just looks gorgeous. Like, the lighting is pretty good, and although it is dark, it looks really nice. And considering this was on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 when those were around, it looks fantastic, especially in handheld mode. I don't think I've actually played it on the TV, but it looks really good in handheld. And yeah, I play a lot more handheld, so that's how yeah. But yeah, so it looks really good. There's not much else I can say about that. It's just a good game, and it looks good. And, yeah. Next up is Best Story, and that goes to Oxenfree. Oxenfree is a great narrative-driven game. You talk with your friends, you get into some paranormal stuff, you tune into radio frequencies, and it's really weird. It's really cool. Really interesting story. I don't want to give anything away, and that's why it's in Best Story, because the story is just really interesting, something you can really sink your teeth into, and you really get to decide how, your character gets along with other people, and it's really fun to kind of build relationships with your friends and stuff in this game, and there's not a whole lot of gameplay here. You can walk around, and of course you hit the button to decide what to say, but really, this is a narrative-driven game all the way. And but it has a fantastic story, really good voice acting, and is overall a really awesome game, and especially for its price, can't really go wrong with this one. The only complaint I would have about it is that Load times are pretty long between different segments, but I mean, I guess that's to be expected. It has to load in all the dialogue and, the setting and all that stuff. Yeah. Again, it has a pretty nice visual style to it too, so highly recommended. Next up, best thing that shouldn't work but does. I think you guys can see where this is going. Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. This game is weird. You never think that Mario and Rabbids would go well together. I remember when when the leaks started coming out, I was like, that's not real. There is no possible way that this crazy thing is real. Just some dumb internet speculation, and it ended up being real, and besides being real, it was real good. Oh, that was bad. But yeah, it's a really fun game, again, in the style of XCOM or XCOM 2. It's a lot of fun, it's strategy-based gameplay, strategy combat, really fun. I know I've said that a lot. It's really good. It looks good. The soundtrack is fantastic. It's fun. It's just all around a good time. And even if you hate the Rabbids, like I used to, you'll really like this game, I bet. It's really nice, and especially considering it's not made by Nintendo in-house, it's actually handled by Ubisoft. Really impressive. Really, really impressive game, and I have to give them props for that. Also, they've recently added the versus mode, and that is a whole lot of fun with friends to just kind of, fight each other. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of great stuff there, and again, could not recommend it enough. And that's basically the theme with all these games, is that they're all really good. Yeah, that's about all I have to say about that. Next up is best under $5. So this is your best budget game. Well, I mean, under $5. And I would have to give this to the game that is $4.99 or maybe $3.99. It's around $4, and that is Kid Trip. This is a really addictingly fun platformer that I think came from smartphones. It's been on 3DS and stuff as well. But overall, it's really fun. I think I've talked about this before on 8-Bit of Fun as one of my recommended games. It has a lot of visual style to it. It looks really good pixel art-wise. Soundtrack's pretty good as well. And really the whole gimmick behind this one is that you are running forward. You have no control. Well, you can either run or walk forwards, but you cannot go backwards. You cannot stop. You're constantly moving ahead. So yeah, that's the real challenge, and you have to really time your jumps correctly to land. And of course, there's enemies in your way, and that adds a whole nother thing. And you collect coins, and overall, it's really fun. I mean, I'd have to recommend it for that price. It's really, really good for the price. It reminds me of kind of an arcade game of sorts, and yeah, it's really good. Can't go wrong for $4. Yeah, pick it up. Next up is best fighting game on the Switch. This one is hard. There are quite a few good fighters on the Switch. Ultra Street Fighter 2 comes to mind, but I'd have to put Pokken Tournament Deluxe as my number one. And I know you're probably like, Draven, that's a port of a Wii U game. How dare you put that one on there? But no, it's really fun, and it is different from the Wii U game. It looks really good. You can pop off 2 Joy-Con and play it with a friend. I've done that before. It's a lot of fun. The game looks really good. I would have to say it was one of my competitors for best graphics, but Resident Evil took the cake there. But it just looks nice. It plays nice. It's not your typical fighting game. You have a whole stage to move around. It switches between 2 different viewpoints. There's a lot of cool helpers and special moves that are just super OP, but so much fun. And the whole thing has a lot of visual flair to it that just makes this game stand out from the crowd. And I, again, can't recommend it enough. I keep saying that. I'm going to stop saying that. But, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Really good fighter. Really good, again, just split those, again, like what the Switch is meant to be. Split those Joy-Con off, play with a friend. Whole lot of fun. Yeah. Next up is best racing game, and really there's not that much on the Switch. The only one that I own besides this one is Gear Club Unlimited, which is a great racing game, but it just can't beat Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I probably a lot of people saw this one coming. But yeah, it's really, really fun. It builds on what Mario Kart 8 had. It adds all the DLC in for, the price that you're paying for it. And also it even adds some more stuff like the battle mode that's really fun. And I really can't get enough of this game. I got it on the launch of not the launch, but I got my Switch around April, and I got it with my Switch alongside Breath of the Wild. And there for a while I was playing more Mario Kart than it was Breath of the Wild, which I know sounds crazy, but it's just a lot of fun. A lot of fun with friends. If you don't have this game and you own a Switch, you need to own this game. It's just great. It's overall really fun, and there's incentive to keep playing in that. As long as you collect coins, you'll keep unlocking new car parts, being able to upgrade your car, and it's really, really fun. So, yeah. It's Mario Kart, Can't really say much more about it. Next up is Best Arcade Archives game. This one I know is a bit of an obscure one. We have another obscure one coming up too, but this one's pretty obscure. But I'm gonna give it to Versus Super Mario Brothers. Again, it sold fantastic. I think it's still in some of the top selling in the U.S. and it deserves it. It really does. As the only current 2D Mario platformer on the Switch right now, it's filling a gap that we really desperately need on the Switch, I think. Kirby will kind of fill that gap because it has that 4-player awesome co-op. But overall, we just need a new 2D Mario game on the Switch, I think. But this, again, fills that gap for right now. Excuse me. Yeah, it fills that gap, I can't, I've said that a lot now. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's more of the old Mario Brothers, but with a new spin. Again, it was released in arcades, which is why it's part of the Arcade Archives. But, me personally, I've never played it, and so this is a brand new experience for me. And it's a lot of fun. It's Mario. It's the original Mario Bros. with a harder twist to it. And, yeah, I don't have that many Arcade Archives, but this one is definitely my favorite. So you can't really go wrong with Mario. Next, this one I might get some flack for. Best platformer, Sonic Mania. I might not get that much flack, but there are a lot of good platformers on the Switch, and it's really hard to pick one. But Sonic Mania, overall, the music is amazing. It looks fantastic, and it's a return to form for Sonic. And Sonic has been, there are a lot of Sonic defenders out there, people who just love 3D Sonic, but me personally, I'm not a huge fan of the 3D Sonic, the more recent Sonic games. Sonic Forces, I believe, it wasn't terrible, but it kind of sucked. Character customization kind of saved that game, and they could have done so much more with it. But Sonic Mania, man, what a blast! Especially for $20. If you haven't bought this, you don't own a Switch. You need to buy this game. If you don't already have it and you have a Switch, buy it. It is great, and if you beat the game, there's a lot of incentive to beat the game. You unlock basically Puyo Puyo for you get that as an extra game mode. It's called the Mean Bean Machine. It's actually a boss battle in the game. A really interesting boss battle. But you unlock it, and that's really cool. And then there's also the And Knuckles mode. Oh, that adds a lot of fun to it. So, yeah, you can play, and Knuckles. Yes, there is a Knuckles mode in the game, so you can play Knuckles and Knuckles. So, that's pretty fantastic, I'd have to say. Just, you can play as Knuckles and your partner Knuckles. And it actually has a special, and yes, at the end, Knuckles still saves you. So, you have Knuckles and Knuckles and Knuckles, which means I guess that one ROM hack that's so stupid got it right. It's official now, so good job, guys. Overall, it just has so much charm. A return to form for Sonic. And if you're a Sonic fan and you haven't played this yet, you need to. You need to immediately. That's about all I have to say for Sonic. It was really my first Sonic game, so it left a really good impression for me overall. So, yeah. Move on to Best 3D Platformer. This one was hard. And again, Mario Odyssey would have won this if it wasn't for that. I'm excluding it because, again, those games, Mario Odyssey and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, they deserve a whole nother video, and overall they deserve their own video. But If we can't include that, we are going to include ukulele. And this game got a lot of hate when it first released. I know it was really, I think it was like a buggy mess, and it just wasn't what fans were looking for. People who had supported it were like, this isn't what we signed up for. But the Switch version, I've heard, is really the definitive version of the game. There's a lot to be offered here. It has all the bug fixes that the PC version got. Again, I think PC and Switch are really the way to go here. Xbox One and PS4, I think, are still pretty bad, but this one's really good. It has a lot of charm to it, and as someone who hasn't played Banjo-Kazooie, it makes me want to play Banjo-Kazooie, because, I mean, it's just a lot of fun. It looks good, plays good, it's really fun, and there's not much more to say about it. It's just, platforming challenges are just pretty much challenging enough, and overall, really fun, really good game. And it's only $40 on the Switch, although you cannot get it physically, sadly, but digital will have to do for now, and it's pretty fun. So yeah, that is my best 3D platformer. Next, here's one of the more obscure ones again. Best Lego game. I know there's only like 4 on the Switch, and for this I'm putting Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. I said that really weirdly. Yeah, Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 is really fun. And although camera angles can be a problem in most of the Lego games, which, you know, that's a downside. But overall, the game's a lot of fun. It brings in a lot of obscure Marvel characters from throughout the years, like Captain Avalon. He was like in one comic book, I think. And yet they brought him into it as a playable character. So props to you guys who made that game. It's overall a lot of fun. You can create your own characters, which is also a lot of fun. And, I mean, you know the drill for Lego games if you played them. And it's really fun. It has a really good open world map that you can just go around and explore. And, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Got a pretty nice story to it, you know. Nothing really complicated, but it's just enough. And, yeah, all their Lego variations look really good, so props to the Lego team, whoever made that game, I guess. But yeah. Next, second to last category we have here is Best Co-op. Like Best Couch Co-op, basically. And that goes to Overcooked. Overcooked is a whole lot of fun. I don't really know how else to describe it. Really, it is just insanity. When you're playing with friends, and you can't really play it alone. It's really not the same. You need a group of friends. So if you don't have friends, I'm not going to insert it, I don't have friends show, because I do have friends. But if you do have friends, then this is a great game to play. You know, you just sit down on the couch, split off the Joy-Con, maybe even you can even play with the Pro Controller, so pretty cool. And you just play some Overcooked. It gets really chaotic really quickly. Cooking up meals, and then as they introduce obstacles throughout the game, and that gets insane. Like there's ice. There's one where you're in a van that keeps splitting apart, and so it gets really chaotic. The ship levels are also pretty interesting because your kitchen is sliding all over the place. And yeah, multiplayer is where this one shines. If you don't have anybody to play with, don't buy this game. But if you do, buy it because it's a whole lot of fun. It also comes with all the DLC that the original game didn't. So yeah, really no better way to play Overcooked than on the Switch. And we get to our final category here: Best Game Nobody Bought. Yeah, I know this is a bit of a weird category, but it goes to Poi Explorers Edition in particular. I don't think anybody bought this game. I mean, overall, it looks kind of cheap, I guess, as I describe it. But you know, people put it off too easily for that. It looks really kiddish, and I mean, yes, it's not the hardest platformer in the world. It's a 3D platformer as well. And it's really fun, and especially considering it's only $20 at GameStop right now. You can pick it up physically, and it comes with a digital art book and the soundtrack that you unlock over time. Sorry, it's tired. But yeah, it's a really, really good game, and I'm really sad that nobody bought it. Like, if you went into you went into the street and you were like, hey, have you played Poi? Probably nobody would say that they had. It's just really a not very well-known game, and I don't think that's right. It really deserves a lot more praise because it's a lot of fun, and especially, again, for that price. A lot of these are really good prices for the games you're getting. And, yeah, Poi Explorers Edition, again, cannot recommend it enough. And, yeah. With that, I guess we're pretty much done with the awards, so let's bring it on back to the actual camera. So, see you then. So, yeah, that's my personal list for those categories. It's only based on games I can afford. I'm not big enough to get review codes. I don't have a whole lot of money. So, it's just based on my personal experiences with these games. I'm sure your guys' opinions will differ, and go ahead and let me know those in the comments down below. The Switch truly has had one heck of a year, and yeah, I can't wait for the next year and to see what's happening. I'm really excited for Kirby Star Allies coming out here in a few weeks. The demo launched, and as most of you guys probably know, it's pretty fun. So yeah, with that, remember to like and subscribe for more awesome content. And follow us on Facebook at Draven Who Games. And remember to check out our gaming project at GameJolt/LooterWorld. And yeah, with that, goodbye. Remember, your GameStop squeegee.